So this fire is explosive.
Napa, Sonoma, and Yuba counties are under a state of emergency. Thousands evacuated, homes, businesses, and hospitals under threat as multiple fires rip their way across 8 northern counties.
This is my neighborhood in flames. Completely in flames. Oh my God.
More than 50,000 acres are burning. Entire neighborhoods are destroyed, with more under threat.
Let's go.
I just saw flames all up on the hill behind my house. I don't know if I'm going to have a home when I go home.
Those numbers are expected to get worse.
We're all in a state of devastation right now.
The fires are advancing rapidly due to strong winds and dry conditions, with some at 0% containment. The focus is on evacuations and fire safety.
It was literally move people from out of the front of the path of this fire. Fighting the fire at that time was not going to be possible just due to the intensity and how rapid that fire was spreading.
The fire has jumped the highway and has burned through much of Santa Rosa.
I'm in shock. Okay, Chris, this is your life right here.
Mandatory evacuations have been issued as firefighters try to get a handle on the numerous wildfires.
This is an all-hands-on-deck response, and we will continue to be here for the long haul.
And on top of those fires burning tonight in Northern California, there is also another one burning in Southern California. This blaze is in the Anaheim Hills. Take a look at these images there. This is smoke at Disneyland there in the background. Several buildings have burned to the ground, and at least 1,000 homes have been evacuated tonight. Tricia.
All right, Carla, thank you. An assistant coach for the Miami Dolphins has resigned after a video went viral showing him doing what appears to be cocaine before a team meeting. We've now learned this whole situation has a connection to Las Vegas. According to TMZ, offensive line coach Chris Forrester filmed himself and sent the video to a Las Vegas-based model. In the video, he professes his love for her and speaks openly about their history of drug use. Forrester released a statement apologizing to the team. He says he plans on getting the help he needs with the support of his family and medical professionals.
Members of a local Catholic church are in shock because of a crime over the weekend that's also left them hurt and confused. Take a look at some of the damage left behind. 13 Action News reporter David Schumann explains why this situation went beyond a typical break-in.
Hardly take a step in Chaldean Catholic Church St. Barbara without bumping into a fan. They're drying the ground because sprinklers went off when intruders apparently set fire to the area around the altar.
We were shocked. We're all shocked about it.
Father Ray Sarkis says the place was ransacked, donation boxes broken open, a safe and a sound system stolen. Members of the small church say they're heartbroken.
Who would do something like this and why? You know, what did we do to kind of like upset somebody, or what was the reasoning? Like, what were they getting out of it?
Almost all of the 150 to 200 families here are Iraqi, having come to America at some point in the last several decades seeking religious freedom. Without knowing anything about a motive yet, church members do not want to call this a hate crime.
It looked like their intent was to destroy and to cause as much damage as possible. So who they were or why that was the case, we can't really say.
We will fight. We will fight through our faith. We will fight for our spirituality and supporting each other.
Sadly, this was not the only report of a break-in that we heard of this weekend. There was also a non-profit that helps disabled children. At 6 o'clock, I'll tell you the details of what happened there as well as how you can help. Near Decatur and Bonanza, David Schumann, 13 Action News.
And right now we are tracking strong gusts throughout our valley. It has been a windy day out there. Here's a current look at the wind speeds. Let's check in with 13 First Alert meteorologist Carla Welga. Carla.
Yeah, you know, even though we've seen wind gusts over 40 miles per hour in the Las Vegas Valley, things are already looking better, down to 25 mile per hour gusts in Henderson and Nellis and North Las Vegas. No gusts as we speak. That alone is a huge improvement. As we move through the rest of the evening, parts of the valley will see a tapering, but some will stay breezy for tonight. And this is an hour by hour look at that. So I'll tell you just how chilly it's going to get tonight in your neighborhood and how long the cool air will last in your 13 First Alert forecast.
Thanks, Carla. President Trump is laying out his list of priorities as he negotiates with Democrats on ways to protect dreamers. They include funding for a border wall and resources to hire thousands of additional immigration officers. The president also wants to switch from a system for legal immigration that prioritizes merit instead of family connections. Last month, the president announced he would end the DACA program, but gave Congress 6 months to come up with a permanent replacement.
Well, authorities are still looking for a motive in the worst mass shooting in modern U.S. history. Contact 13 Chief Investigator Darcy Spears is here to explain why they're having so much trouble figuring that out.
The problem is how to get inside the mind of a madman. ABC News is reporting that investigators increasingly believe Stephen Paddock suffered from severe but undiagnosed mental illness. They're seeing a picture of a loner who carefully planned the massacre while the people closest to him did not notice any red flags. Investigators have asked the Clark County coroner to expedite studies of Paddock's brain to determine if they could find some sort of anomaly that would indicate a psychiatric disorder. Detectives found a bottle of prescription Valium in Paddock's hotel room, and now they want to know if he had other prescriptions and if he took them as prescribed. We've learned Paddock's computer is on its way to an FBI lab as investigators continue to look for anything that could explain what contributed to this horrific crime. Dr. Jen Ashton tells ABC News we need to be careful not to stigmatize those dealing with mental illness, as they are more likely to be victims of crime than violent individuals. In Paddock's case, she says his behavior, appearance, and actions are classic for someone who is psychiatrically disorganized and having what's termed a psychotic break. Darcy Spears, 13 Action News.
Additional service dogs have been made available for victims and their families. Fire Chief Steinbeck announced today the Tao Group sponsored the dogs to come into our city for as long as they are needed.
Omnia nightclub at Caesars is planning a benefit concert for victims of the Harvest Festival shooting. It'll feature top DJs including Tiesto, Steve Aoki, Cascade, and Zedd. It's happening Tuesday, November 7th at Omnia. Tickets start at $30. 100% of the proceeds will go to the Las Vegas Victims Fund. And we have a full list of benefits and other ways you can help the victims. Just go to our website, ktnv.com/Las Vegas shooting.
New at 5, a man races down the street in a stolen ambulance, putting lives in danger. How police say he was able to get behind the wheel in the first place.
You're starting to see gluten-free labels on everything.
The product claims to be gluten-free, but is it really? Next, Contact 13 looks into whether or not you're being misled by food labels.
And they've won 2 games on the road. Now the Golden Knights are headed home. Hear how the team plans to win over the people of Las Vegas.
New video tonight out of Michigan shows police chasing down a suspect who decided to take an ambulance for a joyride. Police say the man stole the ambulance after it was left unattended at a hospital. You can see the officers chasing it down the street. At one point, the suspect swerves into a ravine, then back out onto the road. Moments later, he slows down and an officer jumps out with his weapon drawn. The man was finally arrested. He's now facing a number of charges, including at least 1 felony.
New at 5, you've likely been to the grocery store and picked one product over another because of health claims. Nutritionists are warning some of those labels can be misleading. Well, tonight, we're looking into whether you're getting what you pay for when it comes to your money and health.
Gluten is actually a protein. It's a protein network, really. So water has no protein, it has no gluten. And you're starting to see gluten-free labels on everything.
Nutritionist Monica Salafia says gluten-free labels aren't the only misleading claims hiding on our grocery store shelves.
If it's free of this, what's being added to make it taste better?
The fat-free creamer. Yes, it might be fat-free, but look at the sugar content. And it either has a greater amount of sugar or sugar substitutes to compensate for lack of flavor. Same goes for sugar-free Oreos. An original Oreo cookie has 2 grams of fat, but in a sugar-free Oreo, 3 extra grams of fat are added. And zero trans fat products are super deceiving. Oftentimes, companies make the serving size so small, making the percentage of trans fat 0, when actually there is some in the product.
I think the reason they can, quote, get away with it is because they want to market their product to that health-conscious consumer that everyone is turning into.
Take hormone-free chicken. Did you know the FDA has a mandate that all chicken has to be hormone-free? Don't get carried away when you see that claim. Finally, whole wheat is another red flag to watch out for. If the label doesn't say whole grain, then your product can technically have processed flour in it.
Just because it's labeled as such doesn't automatically mean it's healthier or better for you.
Although many of the health claims on food items aren't false, they can be misleading, including gluten-free water. In order to be a smart shopper, nutritionists recommend researching the products you love to better understand their health benefits.
The NHL has recognized one of the Golden Knights for his stellar play. Goalie Marc-Andre Fleury has been named the league's second star of the week. Each week, the NHL picks 3 players who shined in the previous week's play. Fleury helped lead the Knights to victories over Dallas and Arizona. The Golden Knights will play their first